But then a major publication taking a very different stance on this, or a different take, if you will, because a recent Time magazine article suggesting exercise can trace its roots to white supremacy.
The feature story quotes author and exercise historian Natalia Melman-Petrezela, who says in her research she found fitness enthusiasts in the early 20th century believed, quote, white women should start building up their strength because we need more white babies.
And reaction to the article was swift, with everyone from entertainers, doctors, athletes, fitness instructors even lashing out. One of them was rapper and host of Real Talk with Zuby, Zuby himself. Zuby, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate it. It's good to see you. Before we jump into getting your response, we're going to show the viewers your tweet and how you responded. You said this: racism is a silly game played by mentally and spiritually broke people of various skin colors. People who are worth spending time and energy on don't play that game, and recognize both good and bad people come in various shades and from different geographical regions. Can you expand on that and your thoughts when you saw that article from Time magazine on exercise?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of the tweet, I mean, it's a tough one to explain because I think I said everything that needs to be said there. But I think that I've said many times that I think racism has been on life support for a very long time. And there are people in the media in particular and certain types of activists who are very, very keen to keep this concept alive, which is why they come up with goofy articles trying to link white supremacy with something as generally positive as exercise. We've all seen lots of these strange and silly articles come out over the years. So that was why I made that tweet right there. And I think in terms of this article that's come out, again, it's goofy. It's silly. I laugh at stuff like this. I don't let it make me mad. I think that it's actually better to laugh at it and to mock it than to take it seriously, because it's just so off base and so ludicrous to anyone with any type of common sense, regardless of where you sit politically.
Yeah, dismissing this idea and not taking it to heart. But I wanted to ask you about the impact it could have on, other readers of Time magazine. What do you think is really the goal behind sharing this viewpoint?
Well, there's something really odd I've noticed about the people who write these type of articles, which is oftentimes they link everything positive to whiteness or white supremacy, which is a very strange thing. You guys may remember some time back, I don't know if it was one of the museums, maybe even the Smithsonian, which had they were saying that things like being on time and using logic and having a nuclear family, these type of things are linked to quote unquote whiteness or something like that. So it's weird because they themselves seem to have some type of white supremacist thinking that anything that's positive and good for individuals or society, something like exercise, is somehow tied to white supremacy. So that's very that's very bizarre. It's something that I've noticed as a theme throughout this. What was the other part of the question there?
Oh, no, just, if you think people actually take it to heart,
I don't think most people do. I think if you take something like this to heart and you decide to stop going to the gym because you're worried you might become a Nazi or a KKK member, then that's your bad. I don't think that most people take these kind of things seriously if they even see them. In terms of the response I've seen, it's mostly been people making fun of it and, making memes around it and making jokes around it. And I think that is the appropriate response. I think stuff like this is intentionally divisive. I do think they're trying to get people jacked up on their emotions. I do think they're trying to turn people against each other, and also in this particular case, dissuade people from taking on healthy habits. We've seen this push for what they call, quote unquote, fat acceptance or body positivity, and, trying to say that it's okay to be obese and that, you can be healthy at any size and all this other type of stuff. And they're now trying to link it with their other pet cause of racism. And I don't think that things like this are effective anymore. And I think that the fact that people are laughing at it is positive.
Well, it's not just your criticism, right, or the fact that you're an author, you were an advocate for healthy living, but you're a musician, if you noticed in his graphic there, a rapper as well. We actually have a clip of your single, so we wanted to play this for the viewers if we can. Here's a little snippet.
This little light, I'ma lit it up. Ready for the fight, never give it up. If I ever fall, then I pick it up. This is my life, so I live it up. And I trust God, so I big him up. Try to block me, but ain't slick enough. Try to be them, had to give it up. Now I do me, cause I'm sick enough. This little light, I'ma lit it up. Ready for the fight, never give it up. If I ever fall, then I pick it up. This is my life, so I live it up. And I trust God, so I big him up. Try to block me, but ain't slick enough. Try to be them, had to give it up. Now I do me, cause I'm sick enough. Everyday climb for the everyday shine.
So, Zuby, we're listening to that, you know, the artistry, if you will, of rap, using lyrics in somewhat of a poetic form. Talk to us about this, because what I'm getting at is there is always a message. Typically, I'll say typically, there is always a message in the artistry of music, of rap. What is the message in your lyrics and in the words that are produced through that genre?
Yeah, sure thing. So for me, ever since I started out, both within my music and outside, my goal and objective has always been to use my voice, use my words, use my ability to speak and to perform to positively uplift and inspire as many people as possible. So all through my music, through my various songs, through all the different albums that I've put out over the years, it's a positive and uplifting message. I do think that in the world of entertainment and media, and sadly hip hop in particular, which is my genre of choice and what I primarily listen to, there is a lot of negative and destructive messaging. And I like to be able to counter that. I think that on a daily basis, people are bombarded with so much negativity and pessimism and death and destruction and all that kind of stuff. And it's important to recognize that, yeah, while there are negatives in life and there are the challenges of the human condition, there's also a lot to be grateful about. So it's important we maintain perspective. And I also want to empower people through my words and through my actions. And that goes through my music as well.
Yeah. Also heard you mention God as well, giving thanks
Yep.
to what you've been given. So faith clearly playing a role in your music as well. Zuby, this has been a fascinating conversation. Really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. Your retirement funds are being threatened with even more losses from record inflation, recession, and skyrocketing interest rates. Fortunately, the highly trained specialists at American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. If you call them right now, as a special offer, they will give you a free gold coin on your first qualifying order, so don't wait. Call 866-935-4309. That's 866-935-4309, or text Newsmax to 65532. That's Newsmax to 65532.